Welcome to Growing Worlds, the podcast where we explore the science of exoplanets through conversation with early career researchers on the front line of discovery. I'm Lorenzo.
And I'm Jenny. Over the first season, we have travelled through exoplanet atmospheres, telescopes, and the lives of the researchers behind them.
But today is a little different. Instead of one guess, we are taking a step back and looking at the journey we've taken so far.
And we're not doing it alone, because joining us for this very special episode is someone who's been part of the podcast, but just behind the scenes right from the beginning.
Our assistant producer, Carys Townsend. Carys, welcome to Growing Worlds.
Thank you.
Properly this time.
Yeah. It's so weird being this side of the mic and not the other side.
So for those who don't know, Carys has been the one helping us shape the episodes, listening, editing, keeping us on track, because we do like to wander off topic, and also taking care of our social media. So she is a huge part of the show, and it is high time that she came through your ears.
When we started this season,
Mm.
we had an idea of where Growing World could be and what could have become. But now that we are at the end of our first season and we had quite a line of guests with us, what surprised you most? What has been the most surprising part for you in this journey?
I think for me, I'm actually surprised at how many people have engaged with the podcast,
Yeah.
which I know sounds terrible. But the thing is, like, when you start something like this, you hope that, you know your friends are going to listen, right? So you know you've got a few views guaranteed and a few listens guaranteed. But we've gone so far beyond that. You know, we've
Yeah.
had hundreds of people listen to this at the time of recording. Could be thousands if you lot are doing your jobs, you know, just saying. But yeah, I think it's been really great how it's been received by the general public, but also everyone in the exoplanet community is so excited about it, and I didn't anticipate that.
So quickly as well.
I really appreciate how the community responded, how many people wanted to be part of this. This is what really
Mhm.
surprised me. We were hoping for this, but
Yeah.
it wasn't granted. It
Yeah.
was really, really a treat.
Yeah, we've had no trouble getting guests, if anything. It's
No,
not too many people.
Yeah.
And we're like, we want you all. You just need to give us some time to like slot you in and get it all
It's a
ready.
wait
Keep sending
list.
email. Keep
Yeah.
sending email. We have a spot for everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Just be aware that it might
Oh, yeah.
take a little to accommodate everyone. But
Yeah, exactly. I think it's so wonderful, the fact that we have a wait list for people to come on, because they're so
Yeah.
excited to share their stories.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And that's what it's all about, right? It's because I think, you know, the researchers, okay, they'll get known within their little circle, they'll do their
Mhm.
papers, they'll go to their conferences, but all science is done really by taxpayers' money, right? Ultimately, if
Yeah.
you trace the source back, that's where it comes from.
Mhm.
And I think they're just so excited to be able to give back to the people who have enabled their science. It's a joy for us to share their stories.
Yeah. In such an accessible way as well.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So, thinking about guests and path and stories and episodes, what have been your favorite episode so far?
Mine has to be Mayuko's. She was episode
Okay.
4. And so Dr. Mayuko Mori, she works at the Astrobiology Center in Tokyo. And she talked about sunspots and star spots. I mean, it was the first one I edited.
Okay.
So that's why it's my favorite. It holds a special place. But I just love stars, everything to do with stars. So all of the stars episodes I love. So it's going to have to be that one for me.
I see. I think I might join you with the star excitement because my favorite episode so far, the one that sticks with me most, has been the very first one, Camilla's episode.
Yeah.
Because that's where everything started. I'm pretty sure our listener can tell that it was the first one, also because our technical skill were a little.
Yeah, but you know, it's just teething
behind.
problems. It's okay.
I literally recorded from a basement.
Yeah.
I didn't have the studio at the time.
This is where all the big
Yeah.
things begin, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft, Apple, like they all start in like dark
A garage.
rooms, in a way.
We're the next Microsoft.
So
we
there
have
we go.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my favorite because it was where everything started and it was so scary to be in front of the mic for the first time.
Yeah, but look, it's gone so well.
It's
And
welcome.
it's been amazing. I don't think anyone would tell from listening to the first episode that you were scared. Like, if you were genuinely scared, I
Thank
don't think
you.
anyone
No.
would.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Yeah.
And I was scared.
So I think I've loved several of the episodes. I think the one where we were talking about the science you can do with Earthshine on the moon,
Okay.
that really captured my imagination. When we're looking again at stars and how the sunspots on stars can mimic exoplanets and different features in exoplanets. You have to
Mhm.
be so careful about understanding stars and their variability. And I think because I've got a bit of a ground in exoplanet science, there was stuff that I knew, but I was surprised by how much I didn't know. There's
Yeah.
so many kind of nuances and avenues in this field now that I feel like have come out really in the last sort of 5 years. It's really, I feel, starting to branch out because I think for so long it was about, well, we got to find them.
Yeah.
And now we are going into that. We've said it so many
Mhm.
times on the podcast,
Yeah.
that new era of characterization and understanding. And I think that's just leading to so many like tiny little niche branches. And I think that that's my biggest takeaway from doing these is that there's so many little nuanced research areas in exoplanets now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it for me.
And astrobiology as well. You hear that everywhere now. But I
Yeah,
didn't really know about it until we started the podcast.
yeah,
So that's just another new field that's coming out.
yeah.
And archaeobiology. Remember,
Mm,
Mhm.
Isa episode. She mentioned about how our studying exoplanet can actually help us understanding our own planets and save it. That also really sticks to me.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was
That was
really powerful
such
message.
it was, and it was such a different way to look at the exoplanet world, you know?
That's another highlight for me, Aissa's episode. Because can I just say as well, she got into astronomy because she slid a note under a professor's door.
Yes.
How iconic is
Yeah.
that? That's
Yeah,
such a good
yeah, yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And
I loved that.
I think the personal journeys of our guests have been a real highlight
Yeah.
as well, because very few have been like, well, I liked space as a kid, and then I went to university and did it, and then I became a researcher. Like, so
Yeah,
many of
which is
them
what
have
you'd
been
think
like, oh,
would
well, yeah, you would
yeah,
think
you'd
that that
think
would be
that
the standard path.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, people are like, oh, no, I was a teacher for a while, and then I went into
Yeah,
research.
it's never
And
too late to start. I think
yeah,
that's the takeaway.
yeah, and I think that that is so important,
Mm.
especially I feel like a generation ago, people picked a job and they had a career and that's what they
Yeah.
did for 40 years. Whereas now people tend to, they'll do a job for a while and then they'll just completely change.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
then as they bring all of those skills in from their other jobs that they've picked up,
Mhm.
I think it can be then really transformative in their
Yeah.
new field. It was just so interesting to see everyone's like completely different paths, people coming from engineering and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
It's
It was
amazing.
awesome.
No, yeah, the personal journeys of our guests were fantastic.
I think we should do our personal journey.
Our personal
Yeah,
journeys.
why not? We've made the guests do all of it.
um,
It's okay. You've lived it. It's not the answer. It's your time.
I should know the answer. So my personal journey, I started doing physics in Florence. I decided I wanted to be a scientist when I was 5 years old,
Mm.
and I stick to the plan. However, I never followed the main road. So while I was studying physics, I also work as a novelist and as a personal trainer. And at the end of my bachelor's, I went backpacking to Canada and I end up working as an explorer of the wilderness. So I was literally tracking bears in northern Canada on the border with Alaska. And is when they offered me a job for the winter as a pilot for planes to bring people.
I'm sorry, right? Just a wider sentence. We've gone from I was studying in Florence to
Personal
chasing
trainer,
bears.
bears.
It's
And then like learn how to fly a plane. Do you actually know how to fly a plane?
no, I didn't because when they offered the job, that's when I realized, you know what? I really want to do astronomy. And so
Yeah.
I took a plane, I came back to Rome, and I started my
Stop one.
master.
Flew at home. Training
So
done.
that's when I decided I really wanted to do astronomy. So I went to Rome. I do my master, my PhD there, and then I just fell in love with this mission on Ariel, and I've been working on Ariel since then.
So I think for me, my route into astronomy comes from my dad. Hi, Dad, if you're watching. And so he was always interested in astronomy, but he's not a trained physicist or anything like that. You know, he left school at 16 and he'd like went to work at the bank, you know, and that's what it was. But he was always interested and he had a telescope. And when I was like 7, 8, deemed me trustworthy enough to be around it, right? And so he showed me the moon. That was the first thing that I saw through a telescope. And I think when you look at the moon on the sky, it looks like almost two-dimensional. It's almost like a bright sticker, like a glowing sticker on the sky. But when you look at it through any magnifying tool, and if anyone's watching who wants to get their kids into space, like small pair of binoculars is all you need. So, you don't need anything expensive and fancy. But you look at it through a magnifying tool, and it just transforms into an actual world. So you can suddenly see mountains, and there's valleys, and there's sunlight just glinting off the rims of craters. I don't, remember exactly what I thought because I was 7. But what I remember is this feeling of this is amazing. What else is there that I haven't seen? Because the telescope had shown me stuff I hadn't seen before. So I was like, what else is there that's out there? Became utterly obsessed with space, was reading all the books and watching all the documentaries. And then I think, like, as I was getting older, I switched trajectory a bit. It's like, oh, I want to do dinosaurs, and I want to be a teacher, and I want to be a vet, and like all the classics that kids go through. But space was like, there's always this underlying thread. And so then when it came to like choosing GCSEs and A levels, that was the trajectory I chose. So I chose what I wanted to do in terms of, the GCSEs and the A levels, go off to university. Never intended to do a PhD. I was going to do the masters and then go into quote unquote the real world, right? Because no one in my family's like strongly academic. My cousin had done a degree in geography and PE and like physical education, and so like that was it. So like it wasn't a very academic family. And then when I was doing the masters, some of the lecturers were like, "Oh, Jen, have you thought about doing a PhD?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Oh, you should. You'd be quite good." I was like, "Oh, all right then. Okay, cool." So I applied, got the PhD, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll go into research." But then while I was doing the PhD, I actually realized I loved talking about space more than doing the science. And it was not just my science, but everyone else's science around me. And so then that's when I realized I actually love science communication. And this is where I find myself today. So that's my
Amazing.
journey. What's yours? Because I know that you're like, oh, but I'm still doing the masters. But you are in space. You are in this sector. So
Yeah.
you're just like at an earlier stage.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, I am currently a master's student, if you don't know. I study astrophysics, of course, and I got into it kind of late. Well, I got into it when I would say like 7, I would say, and I
Not
actually
that
I
late.
saw.
was going to say it was about the same as me though, like
Yeah,
7,
I kind
8.
of got into it when I was 7, forgot about it for a bit, is what I mean. I saw Stephen Hawking
Oh, wow.
in Tenby, and this is like
What?
a cool memory. I know. So
Such a random place for him to
Tenby,
be.
Wales, and I didn't know that he'd actually go to Tenby until my mum told me later on, like, "Oh, you've seen Stephen Hawking," and I remembered I have, because
Yeah.
we saw him, and I just remember kind of looking, everyone was like giving him attention, and then my dad was like, "Oh, that's Stephen Hawking." I was like, "Who's that?" He was like, "Oh, he's a physicist," and obviously I was like, "A what? What's that?" And then I just kept looking at the sky, forgot about it for a bit, got into musical theatre. I think that's where I kind of liked my communication side.
Mm.
And then, yeah, I just GCSEs hit, and then I just realized I'm good at physics, found astronomy again.
Yeah.
So that's where I got into it. And then since I've just been doing my, I did my bachelor's degree and then obviously now my master's.
What's the plan for afterwards? Have you decided?
No.
That's fine. I was just,
No pressure. We're
yeah.
just on camera.
Yeah.
I know.
But it's fine if you haven't decided. I was just
want to get
wondering.
into, I want to get into science communication. I want to work in like producing, making shows for little girls, getting into science, like
Yeah.
cartoon shows, documentaries. That's what
That's
I want to
awesome.
do.
Yeah.
But PhD is not closed.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a PhD could definitely be
Yeah.
amazing.
And as we've learned from our guests, like some of them have done their degrees, they've gone off and done other things
And come
and
back.
then come back to the PhD later
Yeah.
on. And it's like when I was doing the PhD, they were like mature students. I hate the term mature students, but they were like older students doing their PhDs.
Mhm.
And then actually they brought very valuable life skills into the PhD because they had
Yeah.
stepped into the
The
real
real.
world.
Yeah.
as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, Jenny. So you throw us unexpectedly
Da-da-da.
the questions about the path. So now I throw it to you the other big question that we always ask our guests. So help me, Carys. If you had to choose
Mm.
One celestial body.
that represents you
What would you choose?
and why?
I never anticipated this question coming. So I have been thinking about this, and I think I would choose a protostar.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. And this is because a few years ago, I went through a very dark period.
Okay.
I felt like I was completely enshrouded. So, like when stars are forming, they form in these clouds of gas and dust, and they form in the densest parts of the clouds of gas and dust. And we can't see them with our eyes. We can see them in the infrared because we can peer through that dust, but they are kind of shielded and cloaked from view. I felt like that for a while. But now I feel like I'm just on the cusp of kind of like bursting out into my happiest and true self. And so this is why I think that a protostar represents me really nicely, because I have swept away that hidden cloak, that veil that's sort of been hiding me from the light of the universe. And I am now just beginning to shine.
That's
That's
lovely.
really
So
nice.
that is what I would pick for me.
That's a really good one.
No pressure.
Yeah,
Like
how
no
do we
pressure
top
at
that?
all.
Okay, so we can go home now.
That's it. That's a wrap.
Right.
Oh.
Well then, you can go next,
I can go
Lorenzo.
next.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, it's going to be Orion Nebula.
Ooh.
And that's because if you look at it from the ground, it's just a blurry star, but it's actually a stellar nursery where all these stars, as you just described, are born. And it's kind of represent me because it's chaotic, ever changing, and there are a lot of explosions involved.
I like that.
That's really
good. That's
good.
a nice answer.
It's my life.
That's a really. You've both got really good ones.
Thank you.
You'll rise to it. Come on then, Carys.
So mine, I'm gonna have to go with the moon. In light of Artemis 2, and it's quite a close to home one, but I'm gonna have to go with the moon. I just love how accessible and universal it is.
Yeah.
Everyone who has ever lived, everyone on the earth sees the same moon. You know, like we've just gone around the moon, it's still the same moon.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't even need a telescope, you don't need a fancy equipment.
Yeah.
It's there. You go outside and you can see it. It's for everyone. So I just love it so much. And I think that's why it would represent me, because I try to be there for everyone. I try to show everyone the same side of me, no matter who they are. And so, yeah, I think the moon for me. It's quite boring, but
No, I
There you
think that's
go.
beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah, that's lovely. Good choice.
Thank you. It was really, really beautiful. This has been our first season of Growing World. What started as a set of conversation that actually turned into something which I think it's much richer. So thanks to all the people that shared their stories with us.
And to everyone who has listened, supported us, and followed along, thank you ever so much. It really does mean a lot. And without you guys, it wouldn't be anything.
And we are going to be taking a short break, but we're going to be back and we're going to have new guests, new episodes, and new worlds to share.
Until then, keep looking up, stay curious.
And remember, new worlds are growing, and so are the people discovering them.
Bye.
Bye.